Right, welcome to today's video, ladies and gents. Massive news actually just dropped across the weekend. As you can see from this, Legendary has signed a rights deal with Frank Miller for Sin City TV series. Not only that, we've got Robert Rodriguez in talks to essentially helm the series, which is crazy, really. I think this came out of left field for most people, but as well, I really think, having thought about it for a little while, because this news broke, what was it, 3 days ago now, on Friday. Having thought about it for quite some time, I think Sin City would lend itself very, very nicely to a TV series. And, having seen Robert Rodriguez's work, I think a lot of you would probably agree that he'd be pretty good for it as well. But I also think that the news of him being in talks is a little bit premature, because there's also news that he's just announced they're moving forward with a sci-fi thriller called Hypnotic, which we'll get into in a second, because it lines up with when this is ever going to get off the ground, basically, if Robert Rodriguez is the man behind it. So let's take a look at this. This is an exclusive from Deadline, and they report exclusive: Legendary Television has closed an agreement with Frank Miller to turn his seminal Sin City franchise into a television series. A deal is close with Robert Rodriguez, which would return the duo that co-directed the stylish and memorable 2005 film. I think he'd be the man for this. And I know a lot of people would kind of scoff at that and say, well, yeah, of course. Of course, he's done it before, you know, of course he would be. But TV series is different, isn't it? You know, it's when directors work on large-scale projects and then they come back to TV, sometimes it can become bloated or disjointed. So I know a lot of people would scoff at it and say, well, yeah, of course he'd be the right man for the job. What are you talking about? But again, just hold your horses and kind of think back to, you know, directors when they've gone back to series, or vice versa. Can be a bit bloated and strange. So Miller and Rodriguez are expected to be executive producers with Legendary Television, and also to produce is Stephen LaRue, a producer of the 2014 sequel Sin City: A Dame to Kill For. Not overly sure whether that's the good idea, but whatever. I think that film definitely fell flat, and I'm sure a lot of people would agree. And Céline Thomas, who heads Miller's production company. Now, the deal on the table is for Legendary to guarantee a first season of the show, contingent on setting it up with a network or streaming platform. The deal with Miller also calls for a hard R animated series for a Sin City prequel based on Miller's graphic novel. How awesome is that? So not only is the deal itself saying, right, Legendary Television, we guarantee you a series, so they're going to obviously front the money. We guarantee a first season of the show, so one season of the series, and it's going to be on a streaming platform or a network. Right, that's guaranteed if the whole thing goes through. But then also that they're going to do a hard R animated series as a prequel. That'd be epic. How good would that be? I'm all game for that, provided it's not like a motion comic. Fuck, I hate motion comics. Motion comics are the worst. They really are the worst. Now, the prospect of Miller and Rodriguez returning to creatively guide this anthology series ought to get fans excited. It is unclear whether they would co-direct, and then this is where I think they're probably not going to co-direct, because Rodriguez is busy. It's unclear whether they would co-direct. If you recall, when director Rodriguez set up the original movie, he felt that Miller's visual sensibility in transferring his groundbreaking graphic novel creation to the screen was so vital to the film that he installed Miller as a co-director, which is right, but Rodriguez is busy doing this. Big budget, Robert Rodriguez sci-fi thriller Hypnotic. And it's done. It's a deal. It's ready to go, which we'll touch on in a second, because it's kind of sets out the timeline, I guess. And yeah, I mean, he's right there. Rodriguez getting Frank Miller on board for visual aids and saying, is this the right aesthetic? Yes, cool, epic. How would you frame this shot? So on and so forth. Is absolutely the right thing to do. Rodriguez even withdrew from the DGA when that guild refused to bless the union. The film received a Palme d'Or nomination at Cannes. or can. It's the latest genre deal for Legendary, which recently set a deal for the Boom Studios graphic novel Grass Kings. I'm really surprised by this. Boom Comics and like Boom Studios and things like that, they're doing an awful lot, aren't they? Like, Legendary's doing a lot. That's a lot of stuff that they're doing now. Now it says the studio also received a series order from Amazon for Paper Girls, which Legendary is producing with Plan B. Miller's Sin City is a series of neo-noir comics that originally appeared in Dark Horse Presents 5th Anniversary Special and continued in Dark Horse Presents 51 to 62 from May 1991 to June 1992 under the title of Sin City, serialized in 13 parts. Dark Horse, always bringing it out. Dark Horse and Top Cow are some of the best comics that genuinely that there are. They're really, really good. They're killing it. So this is good news. This is really, really good news. But don't get overly excited because I don't think Rodriguez has the time. And that brings me on to this part. So it's kind of like a two-pronged piece of news. But this is important because it's... I mean, where's he going to have the time, basically? So what is this? Well, this is a big budget Robert Rodriguez action thriller Hypnotic. Apparently it was a bit sci-fi as well. Now that's moving forwards between Solstice Studios and Studio 8. The news comes as the companies unveiled a strategic partnership with Hypnotic as the first project. So it's already done. Studio 8 and Solstice Studios will produce the film with Solstice spearheading US distribution and international sales. So they've already got distribution and sales locked. Like, it's ready to go. With Studio 8 retaining the option to co-finance. The touted script, originally set up by Studio 8, follows a detective who becomes entangled in a mystery involving his missing daughter and a secret government program. While investigating a string of impossible high-end heists, cast are in discussion for the project, which we understand is budgeted for $60 million to $80 million. Good. Keep the budgets low. Keep the budgets low. So many companies now are like, yeah, $200 million, whatever. No, stop it, please. Now, director Robert Rodriguez scripted the movie with Max Borenstein, and the pick is due to shoot early next year. So there you go. Rodriguez, Jeff Robinov, and his Studio 8 colleagues Guy Danella and John Graham will produce. We hear the companies will celebrate the tie-up at AFM, which gets underway next week in Santa Monica. Now, again, we've got to remember this, right? If it's going to shoot early next year, right, so early 2020, they've just signed this deal. This isn't going to get underway for a while because Legendary have to confirm, well, they have to confirm that they're going to be getting a network and streaming platform. And it's not, they've signed the rights, but they don't have it yet because nothing's confirmed, right? So the deal on the table is for Legendary to guarantee a first season of the show, contingent on setting it up with a network or streaming platform. Now, look, for me, it'd be Amazon or Netflix. I think that's a no-brainer because Amazon is killing it with The Boys. You know, a hard R show for sure. Absolutely fantastic show, in fact. So you'd think that it would go to Netflix or Amazon. And as they already have some work with Amazon, as stated down here, Amazon for Paper Girls, I would imagine Amazon might have like a first look on this. But that's not going to happen for a while. And Rodriguez is only in talks. He's busy with this currently, or will be anyway, early next year. So this is exciting stuff. I'm really looking forward to this. I think this is fantastic news. It's just not going to happen just yet. But I'd love to hear your thoughts. Like, what do you think about this? Because it doesn't say 100% what level of kind of adaptation it is. It just says with Frank Miller to turn his seminal Sin City franchise into a television series. So it doesn't say what kind of series it is, whether it's an adaptation, whether it is straight from the works. Do you know what I mean? Like whether it's, oh, we're going to take the work and we're going to change it a little bit from the source material. But if Frank Miller's involved, and if Robert Rodriguez is involved, I'd imagine it'll be fairly close to the source material. So what do you think? Is this good news? Is this bad news? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so please do let me know down below in the comment section. If you are new here, make sure you do hit subscribe. You can stay up to date on the world of pop culture and movie news by hitting the bell notification icon. Also, guys, just make sure you are subscribed. Some people are being unsubscribed by YouTube. And also, a lot of people don't get notifications, or they get them like a few days later. So just check the subscription box and see, or just go to my channel and actually check the videos. Just see whether you are actually getting them. But anyway, guys, I also, for returning subscribers, I released my Batwoman episode 5 or 6 review last night. Go check it out. It was interesting, to say the least. So anyway, love to hear your thoughts on this and everything else. If you want to support the channel further, we've got Patreon link down below, and underneath every single video, we've got exclusive Mr. H merchandise. We've got Space Jasper down there, so copy yourself some merch. We've got mugs, we've got t-shirts, we've got bags, we've got blankets, we've got posters, we've got stickers, we've got everything. But anyway, guys, take care.